Okay, hi and welcome everyone. My name is Natalie Havens and I'm a ninth grade school counselor here at Spanish River. Thank you all for coming to this coffee talk. I know it was a bit last minute. I tried to remember to email an invitation out to everyone about a week before. This one snuck up on me a little bit, so I know you got the invite just a couple days before. But thank you for coming. Right now we have Miss Bustamante. She is the other ninth grade counselor, A to K. She is with us here. We have Miss Gardney. She's one of our, also a new school counselor here. She is with 10th through 12th grade. Yep. Artizy, I think. Yeah. And we've got Miss Salad here. She's a 10th through 12th grade counselor, A to D. We have Dr. Keller here. He is our college and career coach. And I don't want to miss anyone. I believe that's all of our school counselors. We also have Miss Adelstein here. She is our academy coordinator. So we're all here. A couple of us are going to talk through this presentation. It's just a high school 101. These coffee talks are for all of our families, but this one's special for our ninth grade families. Just to make sure you're getting the information. You may have already heard this, but it's really just to review it, make sure to see if you have any other questions and you feel good about the start of your son or daughter starting with us here at Spanish River. So we'll go ahead and get started. Just a couple rules to review. Make sure you're muting your mics. Like I had said in the beginning, some of you may have missed it. I am recording this right now. When I record this, it's typically just the presentation up and perhaps maybe the speaker, I believe, who's up. But if just in case you don't want to be recorded, please make sure to mute, hide your video. You'll hear these beeps in the background. I'm just admitting people as we go. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the chat bar. You'll see, especially our Dr. Keller is great at answering on the fly. But if anything's not answered, at the very end of our presentation, we'll have time for questions and answers. I try to keep track of all the questions and answers, so I post them also on our website in case somebody missed it. We'll have the introductions that I just did, our presentation, shouldn't take too long, and then at the end, question and answers, and we'll wrap it up at 8:45. In case you haven't seen this yet, here are all of our school counselors. Dr. Kia Allen, she is our assistant principal over our department. And then we have Dr. Keller. He's on here with us today. He's our college and career coach. You met Lisa Solid, our 10th through 12th grader, A to D. Miss Loya Kona, she's our guidance coordinator, and she's 10th through 12th, E to K. Miss Bustamante, she's one of our new school counselors here, 9th grade, A to K. Oh, sorry, Melissa's E to K. Sorry if I messed that up. We've got our ELL school counselor, Miss Abramowitz. Miss Kalman, she is our 10th through 12th grade counselor, L to Q. Miss Garney, she's one of our new counselors as well, and she's 10th through 12th, R to Z. And then you've got me, Natalie Havens, 9th grade, L to Z. And I have given designation for some slides for people to talk to, but I cannot remember. Dr. Keller, are you up to talk?
I am not. I'm 6 through 10, but I can take over if you need me to.
Sure. Why don't you take over from here? Sorry, I forgot to write that down in front of me.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Keller, as mentioned earlier. I'm not prepped for these slides, so I'm going to kind of work my way through them as I go see them pop up on here. Okay, so this is going to be a typical day here at Spanish River. Notice there are two distinctly different schedules. The schedules are based on their lunch. So as you see with the left side, or the blue schedule, they're going to have first lunch. And then the silver schedule will have second lunch. Periods 1, 2, 3, and 4 will all remain the same for both schedules. Things get a little different once you get to that next half of the day, because blue schedule will have their lunch first, then there will be like a little exchange where the students are all back in class, then the silver lunch will happen. Silver and blue schedule is really just dependent upon where their 5th period class resides. So your student should have this well under control by now, but just please be aware that moving forward, this is going to be the case. There's going to be two distinct different lunches. Okay, and Here are the graduation requirements. So everything that I'm going to say to you can be read on this slide, but I'm just going to vocalize it just so that you have a little bit of an audio to go along with the visual. So this is going to be the breakdown of the 24 credits that are required for graduation. You're going to hear that they need 24 credits, but those 24 credits are very specific. Okay. They need 4 English credits, and how this all works out is 1 credit is the equivalent to 1 school year. So if you ever hear that they have half a credit, that is because they took the class for half of a year or it was only 1 semester. So each semester will equate to 1 half. So then a full year is 1 full credit. Okay, so English, 4 credits. That means that they need 4 successful years. So that would be freshman through senior year. That would give them their 4 years of English. Same thing goes with math, 4 credits, including algebra and geometry. Science, which requires biology. A physical science, which can either be physical science by name, chemistry, or physics. Social studies, which the requirements actually start as a 10th grader, where they'll take world history followed by US history, their 11th grade year, and economics and government, their senior year. So any social studies credit right now is going to be for elective credit, unless that, because there's always a caveat, unless they're taking ACE International History right now, which will meet that world history requirement. Okay, they'll need 1 fine or performing art, 1 PE credit, and then 8 electives. Out of those 24, 1 of these has to be an online class. That class can be anything from a core level class, in addition to their typical core classes, or just an elective of sorts. All right. There are some test requirements that are necessary for graduation as well. Those are going to be 2 tests. Okay, they must pass their FSA, which will happen their 10th grade year. They will also need to pass their Algebra 1 EOC. Okay, so here we go. I'm a little bit ahead on slides. So the Algebra 1 EOC has to be passed with a 3 or higher. Additionally, there are 3 other classes that also have an EOC, which is like end of course exam. That will be geometry, biology, and US history. Although we want the students to do as well as they can on those exams, they are not required for graduation. However, they will impact their grade. So they don't want to just take that very lightly and that it's not important because it's not for graduation requirements. It does count for 30% of their grade. One other thing, I guess, with that last slide, just for the sake of understanding what a report card will look like. So typically you're going to have first semester, second semester grades. After the first semester, you're going to get your full set of grades on the report card that comes home. Additionally, that will be in their SIS as well. These 4 classes will have no grade for the first semester. Since these are considered year-long classes, they will only populate a grade at the very end. So you will see quarter grades. You will see what they scored for quarter 1 and quarter 2, but there will not be a formal semester grade. So just keep that in mind, because there's a lot of confusion with that when you get the report card, because you'll see 6 grades instead of 7 if they have an EOC class. So please just keep that in mind moving forward. Okay, Ms. Havens, we can go to the next slide. Okay, some additional graduation requirements, 20 hours of community service. And they can acquire that over the course of the 4 years. We'll even take community service that was acquired between 8th and 9th grade. Okay, nothing prior to that, but the transition between middle school and high school will take any community service hours at that point. Bright Future Scholarship, which is something that you need to be concerned with as you make your way through. It's a major scholarship for students who are attending a public school, a public university in state. It will require a minimum of 75 hours, a maximum of 100 hours, but the student is never in a bad position to get more community service hours. It's just a great resume builder. It allows them to become a little bit more cultured, a little bit more worldly, have more of a community view instead of an individual view. So I always promote as much community service as absolutely possible if that is something that can be accomplished. Okay, and grade point average. So an A is your 4, a B is 3.0, a C is 2.0, D is something we don't like to talk about, but a 1.0 and F, which we really don't want to talk about, is a 0.0. So they need a 2.0 minimum to graduate. That is a C average. So at a baseline, if a student was to get C's the entire way from start to finish, they would have a 2.0. They would meet graduation eligibility. However, that is not going to help their cause if they want to go to a university of sorts. It's really important that they try to do their best. They don't need all A's, but will gladly take all A's. So they just want to do the best they can in a rigorous schedule. Then graduation will be super easy. All right, that's it for me. I guess on to the next speaker. Ms. Havens, if you need me for anything or anybody needs me in the chat, I'll be there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dr. Keller. So I'm going to talk to you a little more about what is a GPA. And we're also going to talk to the 9th grade students about this. It's something that you may already be familiar with, but we find that it's important to really understand. And like Dr. Keller said, only semester and year-long grades will calculate into the GPA. Of course, you guys know a GPA is just a way of converting the grades into a numerical scale. You'll see there's a GPA, an unweighted GPA, not factoring in the weight of the class, not factoring in regular, honors, college, just unweighted. And then there's HPA, honors point average. So that's weighted. It takes into account regular versus honors versus college level. And you'll see that in this next slide. So this is how they're weighted differently at Spanish River. You'll probably know and hear more about from Dr. Keller about how colleges kind of recalculate their own GPAs. Especially that college level course. But here at Spanish River, when a student has their GPA calculated, this is how it's calculated. Again, I'm going to post this presentation on our website, so if you want access to this, you will have it. There's actually probably one posted right now. Just note, for Bright Futures and universities, they review that HPA, that weighted GPA. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Bright Futures, but know that you'll also get more information later this year. One of our coffee talks is typically about Bright Futures. If you continue to want to hear more about this, when you get the survey I send out, click on Bright Futures if you do want to hear more. Bright Futures is a Florida Lottery funded scholarship program. So there's 2 different categories, Florida Academic Scholars and Florida Medallion Scholars. So those are the 2 different award levels. A lot of it, you can earn the Bright Futures based on the GPA as well as the ACT or SAT. For more information or this exact chart, you can go to this link I have here. I don't know if you see my mouse, but there's this link, or even if you Google Bright Futures Student Handbook, it'll pop up. Each year they update it. So this one is for this latest information. Because you want to be mindful that you have to, if you're looking at this, you have the correct GPA, the correct ACT or SAT score, and then of course the service hours. So for the full 100%, you need the 100 full community service hours, and for 75% funding, that's 75 hours. And when I say funding, that's they help pay for the tuition for any public Florida college or university. So there's another way to earn the Bright Futures. I'm trying to see if that's my next slide. And that's through the ACE diploma. So if a student at 9th grade is just taking one ACE class right now, they might want to consider earning an ACE diploma. That means taking and passing 7 ACE classes and the test at the end of the year within 3 years. So there's different groups. You see them here, groups 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then there's one mandatory class called ACE Global Perspectives that Spanish River offers to 10th graders. So really, I tell our 9th graders, those who are considering the ACE diploma, they don't have to decide this year. But by February or March, when they're signing up for their courses for 10th grade, they should know because they'll have to sign up for ACE Global Perspectives if they want to try for their ACE diploma. If you earn your ACE diploma, you automatically qualify for Bright Futures. They don't look at GPA or any test scores, but you do have to do the community service hours. So if you have your ACE diploma and you have 100%, 100 community service hours, you get 100% of the tuition paid for. Of course, you still have to get into the college, so still work hard on those SAT or ACT scores, but they don't factor that in. I think we have Ms. Bustamante up to speak about slide 15 and 16.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so we're just going to go over how you can help your son or daughter succeed in high school. So it's important to get here at 7:15 each day. Ready?
I'm going to interrupt real quick. Can you guys hear Ms. Bustamante okay?
Can you hear me?
Oh, you can. Okay, you're good.
Okay. So also providing a quiet, distraction-free, comfortable place to study and do homework. I know phones get super distracting for kids, but maybe I encourage the kids to kind of just put it in a drawer for a bit and try to focus on what they're doing. We have the National Honor Society offers free tutoring. Hopefully they'll start in October, but just make sure they're listening to the morning announcements for updates. Yesterday, there's math tutoring that just started during both lunches. So during first lunch, it's in 8-115, and during second, it's in portable 8. Make sure that both you and your student are logging into SIS on a regular basis, just checking in on assignments, see if there's anything missing, and checking up on grades. We also have a ton of clubs on our website. They're all listed. I would encourage them to participate in a club as well, which also looks great on a resume for college. Make sure they're in school as much as possible. If they do miss, please have the student communicate with the teacher, ask for any makeup work, because again, the teachers have a ton of kids and they don't always remember who's absent and when. So it's important for your student to reach out to those teachers and let them know what's going on and what they need to make up. Okay, so some tips from teachers. So it's important that students complete their assignments and are studying every night. I encourage kids to review their notes after, even if they don't have homework, just to kind of review what they did in class, just to, make sure it sticks to memory. Work with your kids to learn how to cope with stress, especially the 9th graders. This is very new for them. It could be overwhelming. And then for everybody coming off of the COVID year, it's quite it gets overwhelming, especially coming off of virtual learning where maybe they were slacking off a bit. It's kind of a back to reality situation. Check your grades on a regular basis. Make sure you guys stay on top of what's getting done and what's not getting done. And our teachers are really good with communicating. So shoot them an email, ask if there's something confusing or you're not sure what's going on. Make sure to communicate with them. And just working on daily healthy habits, healthy breakfast, going to sleep early. I have kids that have told me they start homework at 10. So definitely not getting 8 hours of sleep. I know that's hard sometimes with sports and after school activities and homework and all that, but if we can get it to as close as possible to 8 hours, that would be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Bustamante. And this kind of concludes our presentation. There is going to be a short survey. We'll email you. We really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to fill it out. It just helps us align with what future coffee talks we'll have. Our next coffee talk is Friday, October 8th at 8 a.m. It's going to be the same Google Meet link. I'm trying to get that posted on our website too. So if you don't get if you miss the invite or something, then use the same Google Meet link, Friday, October 8th. But now we do have time for any questions, answers. So feel free to either, I think you can raise your hand with a button, or you can type in the chat bar, whatever you're comfortable with. If nobody's talking, you can unmute yourself and feel free to ask out loud.